The Bible never explicitly says anything about abortion, and in Exodus chapter 21, verses 22 to 23, it treats a fetus as property, not as a life. Evangelicals became against abortion because they thought they could win it as a culture war.
I mean, we're dealing with something right now that was legalized over 50 years ago. We're going backwards in every single way that you can think about. Joe Biden, Democrats, you have to do something about this right now. You have to pass something through Congress. You have to get it onto Biden's desk. No matter what your religious beliefs are, no matter what your beliefs on morality are, this is a public health issue. It's the same thing as drugs and alcohol. Now, I'm not comparing apples to oranges exactly, but just in terms of dealing with it along policy lines. People are going to do substances. Now, while that's very different than needing an abortion, it's still something that people are going to do because it comes down to freedom. It comes down to people making decisions on their lives. If a woman's not prepared to have a child with someone, maybe there was an accident. Maybe she was raped. Maybe she has a pregnancy that if it continues, her life will be thrown in danger. But all of these things are very important to consider. But that all gets thrown out of the window because you believe in this God or that God or what have you. You claim to care about life, but outlawing abortion will only end more lives.
One of the former presidents of the Southern Baptist Convention, W.A. Criswell, and he said this: "I have always felt that it was only after a child was born and had a life separate from its mother that it became an individual person. And it has always, therefore, seemed to me that it is best for the mother and for the future should be allowed."
I mean, these are coming from the same groups of people who say that they care so much about these unborn lives, but then they'll call people welfare queens for needing assistance on social programs, right? You care about these unborn fetuses, but when they come into fruition, you're against programs that could help people who are in these straits. So it's like, if you're going to force women to give birth to children, that they don't want to have or they're not prepared to have, but you're also against social programs that make it easier for mothers to be a part of the economy, that make it easier for mothers to have time to continue to develop themselves, to give their children the food and the nutrients and the attention and the time that they need. You're against these types of programs, and yet you claim to care so much about these unborn lives. It's just all a bunch of nonsense, and we know it. But again, it's not surprising to learn that the evangelical community has flip-flopped on this issue because at the end of the day, it's just people.
Evangelical Christians in the United States supported a woman's right to choose. In fact, in 1971, 74, and 76, the Southern Baptist Convention, the largest evangelical group in the United States, supported Roe versus Wade.
This country claims to be number one, but when you look at our education system, our healthcare system, our infrastructure system, all of that ranks way below number one. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this video is about. But again, these are the types of projects that this country should be taking on. Modernizing our job market, making us competitive on a world stage. I mean, we're dealing with something right now that was legalized over 50 years ago. We're going backwards in every single way that you can think about. This country has no willpower to actually make our healthcare system better, but we can find $33 billion to give to Ukraine. Speaking of that, Joe Biden, Democrats, you have to do something about this right now. You have to pass something through Congress. You have to get it onto Biden's desk. You have to. You can find $33 billion for Ukraine, but this is an issue that impacts the whole entire nation, every single last person. And if y'all can't find the will and the strength to do something about it now, then people are just going to completely lose faith in the party.